Hey guys, we'll wait a few more minutes, see if anybody else hops on, and then we'll get started. Okay, let's get started. Hey everybody. Today we are going to learn about Command Designs, which is a great graphic design software that's located right inside of Command, and we can do some really cool things with it. So I'm going to share just a couple things that are my favorites, and then talk to you a little bit about how to do some things in design. So let me go ahead and share my screen and we will get going. And I can't really see you guys while I'm going. So if you have I don't usually pay attention to the chat. Good morning, Zoya. That's probably the last time I'll check this chat till the end. So just unmute your mic and speak up if you want me to slow down or if you have any questions, okay? Who has used designs? Have you guys played around with it? Anybody using it?
Yeah, I do use them.
Cool, good. So it's not a newbie, but I'll go slow enough in case there's anybody on who hasn't done it at all. But I'll try to show you some advanced stuff too as we go. So here I am on the login screen of Command. And one of the things that I like, if you don't have this, what do we call these? A little applet, I guess, right here. They usually publish their latest designs right here. So you can kind of see if they've posted anything cool that you could just download real quick and add to your social media. So I think that's pretty cool. If you want to, if you don't see that on your home page, you can come up here to customize home. And if you click on that, you can check what you want to see when you first log in. So if you're not doing a whole lot of lead generation, if you're just 100% Sphere, you might turn off your leads because that'll just be blank for you, right? I don't use Notepad, so I'm going to check that one off. And then you can move things around. So let's say I want to see product updates ahead of design updates. Then I can move those around, hit apply. Thinking, maybe. Very happy with me. Apply. Hope it's not going to be one of these days. All right, well, you would see those move around if it was taking my apply button. I don't know what's going on there. But new in designs here, you can quickly preview it. There's something about planters. What is this one? Is this a holiday? Yes. Okay. There's a quick listing graphic. You know how much I like stats. Let's see what this one is. Home appreciation in 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20, 9%. That's pretty eye-catching, right? That would be a good one. Tax deductions, home sellers need to know. Tax benefits. I wonder what those link to. Maybe we'll see when we get back into designs. But if you just want to use one of these right off the cuff, I kind of like this one about home appreciation. You can go straight to designs. And here are most of the brand new ones. So they just showed us a handful of them. Here's some Earth Day. I always like to celebrate Earth Day. All right. And so you can use this one and just click on use and get to work editing it. Okay. So that's how you can use these latest in designs. If you want to go and see all the design templates available, you're going to go to the applet menu on the left, and this little box with a paintbrush is designs. So click on that. When you first go to this page, it's going to show you every design that you've created. These are your designs that you've played with. One thing that got me recently is they've separated them into email, social, print, and video. So it used to be they were all together. And so I kind of freaked out at first that, oh, that one print one is not in here. But no, you got to click on over here to print. Now you can see all the print ones that you've created. So you can, from here, click on the 3 dots in the upper right-hand corner, and you can make a copy. So if you've made a property flyer before that you really loved and you did a lot of customization on it, instead of starting over from scratch, I would come in here and make a copy of the one you liked and then edit those. So let's say, here's a CMA I made. So let me copy that. So it's going to show up here, and then I can go here and open it. And so I might go and change the, now I've got a copy of the one that I did a lot of customization on. And I can go in and put the things specific to this new house and then save it. Make sense? And then sometimes you're going to be creating a design from scratch. So to start a new design, you're going to click on the plus in the bottom right corner. There we go. And you've got email, social, print, video, and import a PDF. So we'll go through each of these and kind of what's available. Import a PDF is if you have a really fancy schmancy designed PDF collateral that you've had done, you can actually import the PDF into designs and edit it from there. I'm going to do that one first, just for fun. So I'm going to select import PDF and hit next. All right, so from here, you can still go and use a template or start from a blank page. Starting from a blank page, you know, that's a lot of work, but if you have exactly in mind what you want to create, that just gives you a blank white page, right? So I'm going to go to import PDF files. Let's see if I can find something kind of complicated on my, okay, here, let's do this one. So this is the Atlanta builders cost versus value for various upgrades. I don't know if you guys see that from the Atlanta Builders Association. So maybe I want to include that in a listing package. So I'm going to click on that and hit open. I feel like we need loading music. Here it comes. All right, so this is my new design right here. And all right, so a lot of times when you import the PDFs, designs can't find the original font that was used. And so you just got to go through, this is a really font heavy document too. So
Carrie?
Yes.
Hey, it's Connie. Question on that. So a PDF, maybe I don't understand exactly what a PDF is versus like a JPEG or something like that, because I always thought a PDF was a static document.
It is.
So how is it that it's looking for fonts? I mean, I in my brain, I equate it to a photograph, but it's not really.
It is, and our software can scan it.
I see.
And find.
So it's looking
the
for
elements.
fonts.
It's looking for fonts. Let me see if I can scroll down. Yes, I can. I picked probably a poor choice here because it's tons of text. But that's okay. Let's just. So you can see some of them, it did a match. It said, okay, it had Helvetica on the original document. We're going to use Open Sans semi-bold because we've decided that's pretty close. So just FYI, this is going to work better on a more image heavy PDF than text heavy. Because as you'll see, when I do open this with me just randomly putting all these whatever league Spartan bold is, it's probably the text is going to look really funny.
So is this changing the text in your PDF, or is just showing what's available?
So the fonts on the left is what was in the original PDF. And so a PDF, it's a picture with programming actually attached to it. So
kind
that
of like you have facial recognition.
Yeah, exactly. And the advantage of a PDF is if you send it to a friend, it's going to print out exactly the same on her computer as your computer, because the directions for how to make the font look, how to make the, it's all programmed into that picture, right?
Gotcha.
So this is just asking us if we want to measure this in pixels or inches, millimeters or centimeters. So, pixel is a unit of measure and inches. So the document is 8.5 by 11 inches. Okay. And now, hopefully I can open it and show you guys. See how it did on all that crazy text. So a better choice would have been a more image heavy PDF. And then it would have had only 1 or 2 different fonts to kind of fix, right? As you can see here, whatever I picked, you can see the paragraphs are now overlapping. It's kind of jacked. Let's see if we can get to page 2 here. Right? So you probably wouldn't want to do this with, might be easier just to retype this, right? The text heavy version, although, a virtual assistant could probably get this looking good in no time if it was something you wanted to edit. Have you guys used this cost versus value resource?
No, I'd love to get a copy of that.
Yeah, so I usually lose the link, but if you Google, I think it's Remodeling Magazine, cost versus value report, here's the cool part. You can actually tell it that we live in the Southeast, and actually I think even Metro Atlanta. This page 10 sometimes is the only one I print for people. Yeah, this is specific to Atlanta. And so Remodeling Magazine has estimated that a bathroom addition, which they explain a bathroom addition in the back, in the front, like what exactly versus, let's see, what is this bathroom? I can't read it's like either a major or a minor, right? So you're either doing a $48,000 bathroom addition, adds 24,000 to your home value. So you're only getting 51% back of what you spent, right? Deck addition is 19,000, although I bet that has doubled in the last quarter, right?
Lumber costs.
And you only get 12,000 back from that. So it's kind of fun to scan up and down this percent. So it's funny that siding replacement gets 78% back, which is the highest one, I think. So anyways, I think this report is helpful. And sometimes I throw it in for sellers that I think are considering doing work. But they put it out annually.
A topic for another day. I'd love to talk with other agents about, does time have a factor in there? In other words, if you did that remodel and enjoyed it for a year or two while you lived in the home, do you get a different return than if you did it 2 weeks before you go on the market?
Right. Yeah, I don't know. Or does the appreciation of the home plus the appreciation of that deck as part of it equal a higher return? That's a good question. Thank you, John, for sharing that with everybody.
Yeah, I was just going to say I just dropped the link where you guys can download that PDF.
Thanks.
In the chat.
All right, so I want to go back out to glad I'm not trying to do something with a lot of pages here. It looks like our load times are pretty slow today. Start over here. Okay, so let's say a more common use, I might do that PDF. What the heck? I might do that PDF conversion once or twice a year with, a special piece that I want to change. But typically I'm going to be doing just either a little square JPEG to put on social media, or maybe a property flyer to print and leave at a new listing, something like that. So you can go to the plus. And then let's do a flyer for a new listing, because that's something that we all have to do all the time. So I'm going to hit print, and then I'm going to hit next. Notice right here that I can import photos and text from a listing. So you can check that now. If you forget to do that, you can do it later. Okay. So you can hit next. It's just going to prompt me to find a listing. Somebody yell out a listing you've got. Connie, you got anything active?
2162 Turney Drive. TOUR.
I don't know what kind of unexpected error. Get there. Okay, see, I forgot to click it. So now I get to show you both ways. Everything is meant to happen the way it happens. I'll ask you for that address again in a moment.
Okay.
Okay, so most of our listing flyer templates are going to be under the listings tab on the left. So if you just click on that, it's going to expand to coming soon, for sale, just listed, blah, 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 blah. So I'm going to go to just listed. We've got all kinds of sizes. So here's showing all of them. We have some door hangers that print to 4 1/4 by 11. So those are pretty cool. bifolds. If you do, you know, a 2-page foldable flyer for your higher end listings, that's the size, and horizontal. So if you do a booklet style versus a horizontal one. Trifolds, we'll do like, you know, one of these jobbies. Postcards, standard postcards. Here. And flyers, finally, that's what I was looking for. So you can see we've got, what is this, 10 different styles that they've created for us. And then you can edit them from here. So, you know, I would pick a suite of designs because they'll have a postcard that matches each one of these designs so that your look is sort of consistent. I've always liked these that have the little dot on them, and that dot carries through to the different collateral pieces. So if I hit use on that, now I can edit it. And this is where I'm going to go and find that listing because I forgot to say I was doing a listing before. So Diane, hit it.
2162 Tourney, that's TOURNNEY. Drive. There you go.
Right here?
Yeah.
Yep. So we've got MLS, Georgia MLS and FMLS. So, you know, you just pick one of them. So once I've selected the listing from the KWLS, I've got access to all the photos, and then I also have access to the listing details right here. So this one doesn't have a paragraph of text, but if it did, one thing that you can do is you can scroll down. Here is Diane's property description. If you highlight a paragraph of text here and you come over to this property description, you can hit this swap button and it's going to put her description in that box, and it's going to use the same text, the same font, color of text and everything, so it sort of matches. Now, obviously her description was longer than the one that was in here. So you would either edit it, or maybe you would make this box much bigger if you wanted to have more text and less pictures. You know, that's kind of a design choice. I would probably get in here and edit it a little bit to make it shorter so that it fits better, right? That at least gives you a start. You don't have to type the whole thing. And some of the flyers do have a bigger chunk of text to start with. So, and then for photos, let's see if we can do, here's price. So I can go up here and just swap the price, and there it is. And I would probably take out the US dollars. So to edit text, you just go in there and double click in the box, and then you can edit from there. Agent name and all of that is in here. Might be in the personal bits. So let's get these pictures in first. So I'm going to switch back from listing details back to photos. And I'm going to highlight the photo and then go up here and swap. So that's going to apply the rounded corners. It's going to make it the right size. If I go here and I'm going to do this one.
If you wanted, could you crop a photo in there?
Absolutely. So once I put it in, if I double click, let's see. Nope, that wasn't it. Okay, down here on the right is your zoom in and out.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think what you would do. Is that what I would do? Let me think. I also know. Go in, go in. Can do that and then pull it back out. That's what I would do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep, you can do that. Yeah, you can. All right, so now I want to go to images, and you can upload your headshots and they'll be in your design kit from here on out. So if you want a little bubble of your face, you can click on that and swap. You see it just sized it just right. And then logos, you can click on our KWDBA name and just swap it out for Atlanta North. My Atlanta North is a square for some reason, but it's okay. It works out all right.
Does it matter the resolution on your photos?
They do not have to be terribly high in here. For print, you'll want to do your high res ones. But if you're just doing to post on your website or social media, then it doesn't need to be. But if you're printing these out to put in a flyer box, then I would use your high res from your photographer. They'll look a little bit better. Under icons, we have a pretty great selection of clip art and various thingamajiggers that you can use. You can search for pictures with houses in them. Might want to use that scary house on Halloween. Size that down, put it right here. Various things, you know, you might use this for invitation to a client event or anything like that. Different categories. Sometimes I like to throw a border on something. That usually looks pretty good. So there's a lot of options in there to explore if you're designing something from scratch. Under images, so these are things that I've uploaded. You can add anything from your computer or Facebook or Google Drive or Dropbox. So if you've recently posted something on Facebook and you want to make a flyer out of it, you can just go to your Facebook account. And here are all my timeline, you know, different things from my Facebook account that I can put on there. And then here you can just click and upload something straight from your computer. So if you've got, like yesterday I was designing something. Let's see if this is what it's from. Yeah, I'll show you guys that one in a minute. This is a screenshot from my phone with the KW app open. So I screenshotted it on my phone and then I emailed it to myself and then downloaded it and uploaded it here. I probably could have just posted it to Facebook and then brought it over, but or Google Drive. Under company, we have a lot of really great stock photos. So let's see, I really like the lifestyle ones. If you're doing a blog post or you just need a picture to fill some space on a flyer, we have some beautiful like home ownership related happy family stock photos that are great for social media or anything like that. So there's a bunch of them. And then lifestyle activities shows people doing a bunch of stuff outside. So there's some snowy ones in here that don't look like Atlanta at all. But if you were selling a lake property, you might want one of these dock pictures. You know, obviously running, picking flowers, All of that stuff can kind of invoke a happy vibe in any of your marketing. Doing yoga at home with a kid on your back. So there's a pretty wide variety there too. Some of them are kind of like our market and some of them aren't. House interiors. Got a ton here. So say you wrote a little article or on your social, you just did, a few tips about home decor or working at home or something like that. You could include a photo out of here. Holidays, let's see what's in there recently. Just some winter holidays. So if you want to talk about our app, there's a bunch of pictures of people using it and screenshots here. And this is where, let's say you wanted to do a download my app on this flyer. I put this one on it. Obviously, I'm making a mess of this flyer right now, but I'm just showing you guys some stuff. So this has this dream house in Austin, Texas, which I'm not really that into. So I'm going to go to images that I've added. And I'm going to just add this. I'm not swapping, I'm just adding. I'm going to resize it a little bit. Actually, I'm going to crop off my phone stuff there and my phone stuff there. So suddenly my Android screenshot becomes this iPad screen. So now I can advertise my app with an actual Atlanta property on it. And put that somewhere, download my app.
I just got to say, you are so clever. That is, it's brilliant.
Love you, Diane. You always make me feel good. So there's a few tips and tricks about flyers. Let's take a look at some of the, by the way, this application saves constantly. So sometimes you'll come over here and it'll say save instead of file. If you see the word save, go ahead and hit save. That means it hasn't been saved in a while, but it's constantly saving. So you usually can just hit done and be out of there. Or, maybe not. Okay, so now that is saved for me to use later. Let's go look at all of the awesome social stuff that they give us. Can you guys hear the lawn guy? It's leaf blowing time next door. Okay, social. Next. Okay, so we've got categories on the left, and then we've got sizes across the top. So, this size is a story size. So for either Instagram or Facebook stories or both, you can use this kind of long and skinny version. This black one is awfully eye-catching. So again, there's plenty. Here's the one with the dot that would match everything else I'm doing. People start to see red dot, red dot, red dot. That kind of becomes a thing, right? And then you have social square, which works great for your Instagram feed. And I use square on Facebook too. I think square looks nice. And here's our little dot one, or if you were going for black, they've got that too. And then social wide is like for a banner. So you can do a Facebook post and use wide, but the preview will cut off your edges. But if you wanted to change your banner, probably not to a just listed, but maybe to, let's see what's under lead generation. Didn't like that one. Let's see. Oh, I love KW. That would be a cute banner. Let's see. Facebook covers. There's a red day one. Keller Williams is number 1. No One Succeeds Alone. I'm with Gary. Onward. I've seen people have this Onward one down here in the bottom right as their cover. There's some cute ones in there. This Start Your Home search I like. To point people to your website to search for homes. You know, showing kids get on the bus. That's like the perfect East Cobb one, right? You could have this one in your story and you could have this one in your feed. And this is also where you go. You remember when you edit your website, how you can add or change the hero images that rotate on that homepage? The ones that they have in there as default are great, but if you want to switch them up, that's under my website, hero images. So they have a few more options for you than what comes on it naturally. So if you like any of these, you can download them and you can put them up on your website. Here are some, if anybody does a pie event, they did a whole series of pie invites. These red ones are more generic. If you're having, I kind of like this one, how it says you were invited, kind of in a wave there across the top. I think that one looks nice. So you could turn these into any event invitation. Relatively recently, we got a listing presentation. Where did that go? Oh, that's probably under print. I'm sorry. So for particular properties, just listed, open house, et cetera, et cetera. Now let's say you're doing open house for another agent. You can pull up any listing and put their photos in without them having to email them to you. So you can make your own open house graphics. You'd want to say, you know, exclusively listed by Connie, open house is being held by Diane, right? Spring selling season. These are a little busy in my opinion. Certified deal sealer. That's kind of cute, I guess. Not really my style, but under buyer, we've got some Keller Mortgage graphics, neighborhood snaps. Last time I tried to do a neighborhood snap, it wasn't working that great. Let's try to do one and see how we do. So let's say I want to do this one. We'll test it out. All right, so for a neighborhood snap, we're also going to go to KWLS. And instead of listing, we're going to search snapshots. I think Georgia would be on the first page for me sitting right here in Roswell, huh? Weird. All right, so here's a snap. But you know what I want to do? Hold on, I want to delete that. I'm going to highlight that and I'm going to swap it. Yay! Edit this text. So actually, I think that is new to be able to do it by zip code, y'all. I'm kind of excited about that. Now, just a couple notes about the snaps. So total active listings, this is actually twice as many because it's pulling Georgia MLS and FMLS for us, right? So it's approximately twice as many. Total pending, it's approximately twice as many. Average days on market should be correct because it should be the same average for twice the listings, right? And average price per square foot should be correct. Average listing price and average sold price should also be correct. So you have a couple options. One is to just like be cool with it. And if somebody calls you about it and says there's not 70 listings, then you just tell them, oh yeah. Or you could go in here and you could cover it up with a 35. So the way you would do that is you would just go to shapes. And you would pick a rectangle. Oh, there it is. I'm going to click on that rectangle. I'm going to make it white. Let's just, okay, so we also have a sucker. Do you guys know how those work? Hold on, let me start over. So I've got a square. And I want to change the color of the square. And I want to match something. So I'm going to do this little dropper thing. I'm going to click on the dropper and I'm going to suck up some white because I couldn't find white. I'm going to apply it, and that's going to make my square. Maybe it made that one. It's not bad. Oh, yeah.
There it is.
I did it. And then you also want to make sure and change the outline of the square to white. So it's a pure white square. And then you can get that really down and you can pull it down here and cover up your 70. Smaller. And then you can add some text. Bet that that's a subtitle, maybe body text. No, it's not body text. It's not edible text. So texty text. One quick little tip while you're messing around with stuff like this is if you've got something on here that is exactly how you want it, you can click on it and you can see right now this is locked, which means no matter how much I like monkey with it, it's going to be locked together. So you can unlock it. I know I just locked it. So now I can move my text around. And if I accidentally try to move the picture, it's like, oh no, you've locked that. You can't mess it up. So if you've ever been designing something and you accidentally grab the wrong thing and move it and you're like, oh, now I got to go align that again and fix it. And once you're done with something, lock it and then you can't move it, right? I don't know why that text won't lock, but oh, I think it was behind that arrow. So I'm going to change the word subtitle to 35. I'm actually going to make this kind of smaller. Mess around with it so you like how it looks. Maybe make it bold. I'll probably make it a little bit bigger, but once you figure out what it's supposed to be, it'll be fine. And then pull it right down here. And then I would do the same thing for the 163. Then it would be a little more accurate. So if there was something you wanted to do once a month, once you had done that a few times, you could probably do it in 10 minutes, right? And I like that it has this picture, it shows exactly where it is. And then these stats should be pretty accurate. You know, they may not be exact, but I think that that would give you a place to start. So those look pretty cool, right? And sure you can see it. Anything else you guys were hoping to see? If not, I'll show you the new magazine.
Hey, Carrie, do you ever use Command to do your listing presentation? I've noticed it can be a little difficult.
You know what? I don't. My typical listing presentation is one page that is the National Association of Realtors, how buyers found their house. And I usually bring a copy for me and a copy for the client that I have with the comps in a folder for them. And I just walk through each of those pie pieces on the pie graph and say, the number one way buyers find their house is using technology. And here's how we make sure we're maximizing technology for your house. And then the number two way is through other agents. And here's how we maximize making sure your house is attractive to agents, right? And that I just walk through like everything we do to address each one of those pieces of the pie. If it's a cold appointment, I have a sheet that talks about my team and me and my experience. But I don't even always include that if it's for a referral. And then we spend the rest of, and then there's one page from the stats that I bring that is the out of 100 houses, how many don't sell, how many sell, how many have to reduce their price. And I walk through that and what the market looks like. And then we look at comps. So I have sent the listing presentation as a pre-list by email. Let me show you what I did. Where I think it was. It's this one that I just changed the title with on the when we first started, and I didn't show you the whole thing. This is an edited version of the listing presentation. I've taken some sheets out and moved it around and added some stuff, but I'll show you guys what I've done. So when you've got a multi-page template like this, you can, so I've used 19 pages here. You can show all the pages and like move them around here. So I've done a cover page. Table of contents. So basically I got to talk about their house. This is a graph from the FHA appreciation website. You guys know about that? This is a hot little tip coming your way. Fold up. Go to my bookmarks. I pull this for every house when I go on the listing presentation. If it doesn't match what I want it to say, I throw it away. But if 9 times out of 10, when I go through here and put, so you can go to Georgia. And then you can actually narrow it down to Atlanta, Sandy Springs, Alpharetta, which I would argue East Cobb is right in there with it. You put the quarter that they bought it. So let's say they bought a house Q3 of 2012. And in Q4 2020, they bought for $250. Calculate. And it gives you a graph of what it should be worth. If they bought it for $250 in 2012, I'm guessing that if I pulled comps, I'd be looking at about 500 list price. It's pretty cool. Wish I'd bought 6 houses for $250 in 2012, right?
Any idea if that's got any updates calculated in?
No, it doesn't. It's just
That's just
pure average. Yep.
It's just crunching numbers, right?
Crunching numbers. Yep. So, and
that gives us job security.
It's fun for me to pull comps and then I pull this and be like, oh, it's right on. But then you'll find somebody overpaid back when they bought it, or they got a really good deal back when they got it. Then it's not going to match. Or they've done a ton of upgrades. They're going to be above, or they've let it go to shit and it's below, so you can use your common sense about it. Right. And every once in a while you'll get into a neighborhood that just hasn't appreciated as well as others. We did a listing presentation in Plantation North, and those houses just didn't appreciate as much as the neighborhoods around it. And so this number for their house was much higher than I would have listed it. So I don't bring this with me. So
To get that hyper local, did you go to to FMLS stats, or did you use that FHA? Can you go that local to a specific neighborhood?
no, I was just saying that when I did comps,
Mm.
my price was lower than the FHA price. And just looking at comps, like in that neighborhood in general, you know, Connie, that neighborhood just doesn't get the price that like Chimney Springs does. Yet the houses are pretty similar. You know what I mean? So anyways, what else I've got in here? So I do area and then I do some comps. Then like I would probably revise this now because I had something about COVID market and was saying like it's not a thing anymore. And then I copy this in from the quarter. And this is the one that I actually edited for single family from 3 to 500. Here's the pie chart. My pie chart that I bring is a little different, but this is the same internet real estate agent, yard sign, friend are the top 4 ways people find a buyer. And then I go into what we do for a marketing plan. So this all comes before. And if they want to read it, great. If not, it's just another touch point to them, you know. But all of these slides are directly from that listing presentation that you mentioned. And I edited, you know, there's a couple things that I don't do. There's a couple things that I did do. So I went through and read it and actually did edit some of the things. But most of these pages were untouched. So it's a pretty nice template. I like the layout and I like the graphics. So that is that. And I think it makes a nice listing presentation. Now, the cool thing is you can go up here to the top right and you can download it, which is what we've been teaching all along, right? Download, get the PDF, download it. Then you've got a PDF copy of this whole thing that you would just email an attachment, right? But check this out. If you go to share, click on share. So if it's on this design, it's only going to do this page. You want to switch over to the project. Okay. And then right here, you've got a link. So I'm going to copy that link. I'm going to go over here to another tab. And if you paste it, when somebody clicks on that link, it's going to open up this cool magazine style where the pages slide in and out. So I think that looks super impressive. So if I were to email this to a client, I've already copied that. I'm going to start an email. I'm going to grab a photo, maybe of that house on the front. There we go. So yeah, let's do that. I'm going to get my screen capture software. And I'm just going to grab a JPEG of this whole thing. Do it right at that blue. Okay. Copy that. I'm going to go into my email and I'm going to paste that picture. I'm going to highlight the picture and I'm going to add oh, you know what? I got to go. I got to grab the link again because I messed up my clipboard. I'm going to hit the hyperlink and I'm going to, text is going to be, text isn't going to show unless the picture doesn't come out. Let's see. It did actually. Never mind. I was trying to highlight the picture. You can do it in for some reason I can't make it for the photo. Let's see. All right, so in this case, I can't figure out how to make that picture a hyperlink in my Gmail. That's weird. We'll do that.
Are you sure you have to put text there? Can you just make the link, put in the link with no text?
It'll just do that text if you don't put something.
Mm.
I'll have to think on that a little bit more. This isn't the worst thing. So you'd send an email, hey, da, da, da. Feel free to review this information. If you don't get to it, we'll be covering most of the information in our meeting, da, 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 da. And then they can click on that. And it'll be clickable in there. So, you know, it'll be blue. And then they can go through it like that. So that works. It would be great if the picture situation was working. Ooh, that's an awfully big picture of me. Yeah, I don't know why. I'm gonna have to Google hyperlinked pictures in Gmail. You can do it in, if you sent it out of command, you can do hyperlinked pictures. And if you sent it in MailChimp, if you were sending to a bunch of people, you can do it. So that's the listing presentation. The other one that's cool is the magazine. So they've said they're going to come up with a magazine template once a quarter. It's under print. I'll create a new one. I was playing around with it yesterday. So it's under lead generation, personally branded zine. So the first volume of it is out, and I heard it would be the end of this month or the beginning of May that they'll drop the spring one. But to use this, you just click on use. It's going to open it up. And in this one and the listing presentation, you've got a button over here called templates. So the template is all the pages over here on the left. And you have to go through and add the ones that you want to use. So you add the cover, you add the note. I think it'd be easier if they just had them all in there and then you deleted the ones you don't want, right? But anyways, you go through. Here's a year in review, which has some stats that you would probably want to edit. This is for a particular neighborhood. So if you're farming, this would be amazing. And you can print these booklet style. But I think they make a really nice e-magazine too, that you can click through just like I just showed you on the listing presentation. So this has 3 articles. You can see on the cover, you've got 5 real estate resolutions, home maintenance projects to tackle ASAP, and say goodbye to winter blues. So those were the 3 articles in the first edition. Some agents were taking one of these articles, putting it in the center and then maybe doing a logo and contact information on the other two sides. And then you could release one article a month and it would be a much shorter pamphlet, right? With just one article, or you can send it out quarterly with all 3 articles. So I'm just now doing this first one for my sphere. We're actually working on it this week. And so we deleted the winter blues article because that doesn't make sense. And then we moved this over and then we put a logo in the middle. But the articles are nice. Real estate resolutions. It gives you like 5 or 6 tips. LED lights, remember your filters, stop flushing money down the drain. Then you've got a featured listing page. And then the second article is just 8 projects to tackle ASAP. A little bio page if you want to do like some stats about you and your experience. A testimonial page if you want to throw a couple testimonials in. Then say goodbye to winter blues. Hottest winter listings. I just nixed that one. Ask an agent has when home improvements can boost my property value without burning a hole in my wallet. You could do a little answer and then gosh, you could link over to that cost versus value, right? And then the last page is download my app. So this is what I was doing. This is so big and it's so obviously Texas that this is where I threw on that image of the Atlanta app. Cool. Any questions?
You're brilliant. Thank you.
You're
Thanks
sweet.
so much, Carrie. There's obviously a lot there.
There's a lot there. Yeah. And it's, you know, it's a lot to try to show an overview of all of it. I would say to start using it, maybe either just for your listing collateral or just for social media. You could say, I'm going to go in once a week and pick one little square social media blurb to post on my Facebook. And just go find something cute and post it. They're pretty timely. You know, when it was Women's Week, National Women's Week, they had a few cute posts about women I look up to, or that Keller Williams was a company recognized for women in leadership and things like that. So you can go find something and just stay top of mind with some social posts. Awesome. Well, thanks guys for coming on. There's Connie's face. Nice to see you.
Hey, thanks for all the amazing content.
You bet. We'll take the link and put it up on quantrain.com when it's finished downloading. Bye, everybody.